What's good, everybody? I'm back with some more Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and we just received our first nerf. This is insane breaking news for a breaking game build that was out there. It's been completely nerfed. I'm gonna have to do some testing and I'll let you know how bad the nerf is, but I'm just gonna go ahead and explain what was going on, and then we'll just go ahead and get into the rest of the balance changes and patch notes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and lock straight in. In the background, there will be no story spoilers. Rolling is only going to be B-roll, some trailers and things that we've already seen before. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you want to go ahead and skip to any part of the patch notes, feel free to check the chapter list down below. So Clair Obscur Expedition 33's developer Stendhal Interactive has launched their patch 1.2.3, and in this patch it has a bunch of fixes as well as a crucial balance change that they felt needed to happen. Now, there was a move or a skill in the game for Mael called Stendhal or Stendhal. I don't know exactly how to pronunciate that, but I'm gonna call it Stendhal. Regardless, this move was game breaking because you could take that and the Medallum, the weapon that is for Mael, combine those together to push out billions of damage. Now, Stendhal Interactive has stated that it was underwhelming for most of the development, so in their final pre-release balance pass, they gave it a big damage boost, and clearly they overdid it, so it's gonna overshadow a lot of the other options in the game, and they kind of don't want that. They still want us to break the game and do lots and lots of damage, no problem. Like, they have nothing wrong with that, but they do want us to also have more options to be able to do so, and or come up with more creative ways to get to those same damage numbers. Probably not the same because this one's been nerfed heavily, and when I get into the patch notes, I'll explain it to you. But that's pretty much where Stendhal is coming from, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that for me. If it's one-shotting the end game boss, that's like a double-edged sword. It's cool at the same time that it's like, damn, you just one-shot the end game boss and you didn't really go through the motions. Like, you didn't actually experience what the development team kind of wanted you to experience with that boss. So I kind of see it from both sides. Regardless, it's a nerf, it's hit. If you don't want to be affected by this, then don't update your game. Just kind of stay offline for a little while till you have some fun with it, and then when you're ready, you can go ahead and update your game, because it's still accessible right now, but that's completely up to you. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of these patch notes though, so you know exactly what has been changed, fixed, and what's going on currently in our favorite brand new turn-based RPG. So the Clair Obscur Expedition 33 update 1.2.3 patch notes are: Steam Deck, they fixed background various menus not displaying properly on the Steam Deck. Next up, they have the various ultra-wide fixes. Gameplay no longer becomes zoomed after a cutscene occurs in ultra-wide resolutions. The option menu image will no longer be stretched in ultra-wide resolutions. Combat UI adapts correctly to ultra-wide resolutions. Game will no longer minimize upon changing settings in the ultra-wide resolution. Cutscenes won't letterbox in the 32.9 aspect ratio. Title screens now display full screen when the game is launched in the ultra wide resolution. So that's going to be all of the changes for ultra wide. Let's go over to mouse and keyboard. UI button prompts in the Expedition menu are now visible and fully able to be triggered with a keyboard. Mouse buttons do not become unresponsive after first use. With mouse cursor on screen, use WSAD or directional arrows to navigate in UI or trigger any other functionality. Will no longer hide the cursor instead of doing the intended action. The left mouse button click will no longer block the player from using keyboard to navigate through the menus. Mouse input is not lost after the first jump counter attack if it is pressed only once. So I guess if you're spamming it, you're going to get different results there, so just be careful about that. Fixed areas of the world map where you can get stuck. Oh, I've had a couple of these. It's not too bad, but it's definitely a thing. Between lanterns scattered on the ground near the Stone Wave Cliff portal. Yeah, that's a thing. I literally, like a couple of days ago when I was doing some videos for the Stone Wave Cliffs, I got stuck. I ended up getting myself out somehow, but that was kind of bad. I'm glad they actually went around and fixed it. That's cool. While walking around the shipwreck near the Forgotten Battlefield level entrance. Okay, cool. Between lanterns on the ground near the Borgian encounter next to the Stone Wave Cliffs level, between two small rocks located between Spring Meadows and the Abyss Cave, between vases and corals when jumping from rooftops, between various rocks, in ruins behind the Flying Manor level entrance, near the bridge between Flying Waters and Spring Meadows, in the rocks on the world map near the Flying Waters, next to the Hardened Land close to the Flying Waters location exit. Alright, let's move on. Fix situations where SK specifically would get stuck. Poor guy. That's funny. When taking off from the paint bridges, making him fall through the bridge and restrict his movement. When flying into bottom parts of levitating structures near visages. Near the Flying Waters entrance level. Near a giant hammer when traversing close to the Blades Graveyard level. Next up, weapon and skill fixes and tuning. They fixed the Lithium attribute scaling not working at high level. Reduced initial vitality scale from A to C. Will still end up at S at max level. Added luck scaling starting at D. They fixed the Blizzard attribute scaling not working at high level. They reduced the initial luck scaling from B to C. Will still end at S at max level. And they added defense scaling starting at D. They fixed the, here it is. They fixed the Medallum Third Lumina, doubling all damage in Vertiso stance instead of doubling only the burn damage. So it was only intended to double burn damage, but it must have been doubling everything. And then, of course, Stendhal. Reduced damage by 40%. So that thing got the ultimate nerf. Other fixes. Boss encounter in the Stone Wave Cliffs can now be finished on New Game Plus. Will no longer be blocked by the Journal UI window after opening the first journal in the Spring Meadows. They fixed being unable to shoot in free aim while exploring levels due to warned triggers. Loon and Monoko no longer spawn in the same place during end of their level 6 relationship quest if they are completed without going to the camp. If at camp you pick remember the objective, then quickly choose to go to sleep and immediately after press leave, the screen no longer goes black. Oh, so you was just like clicking everything all at once. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Wait, this next one I guess is considered a spoiler, so I'm going to just throw a light spoiler warning. Depending on where you are in the game, you might not know exactly what's going on here. So I'm going to read it off anyway. Please be careful about this one. You can no longer trigger the Discovering the Truth cutscene in Old Lemire a second time in a row, splitting the party forever with only Verso and Mael in it. All right, so that's going to be a fix. Update to rolling credits. And that seems to be everything that they wanted to go ahead and fix up in this brand new patch for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So, I mean, personally, my experience so far with the game has been nothing but positive. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about the parry system in this game, and they've been voicing that opinion very heavily on a lot of my different parry videos. Nothing bad, of course, but everybody has, you know, their own perspective coming from like whether they like it or not. And for me personally, I do like it. I do enjoy the parry timing and everything in this game. It is kind of tight in certain situations, but I kind of like the little, I guess, the difficulty curve that you have to go through, especially when you go all the way up till Act 3. Regardless, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time while playing this game. It is truly special. This has been one of the best gaming experience I've had in 2025 so far, and I don't know, I'm just really excited to see much more coming from this studio moving forward. I don't know if they have any DLC planned. I'm gonna have to do some research on that, but I am definitely locked into anything and everything they got coming in the near future. If you like what I do here on the channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash that like button for me. Consider subbing so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, updates, and everything you need to know about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is your boy M of MSensei HD. For now, though, I'm gonna go ahead and slide up out of here.